I'm Quark, owner of Quark's Bar, Embassy, Gaming House, and Hollow Street Arcade. And you're listening to The Neutral Zone with my bastard son, DJ Grom, right here on Subspace Radio, the voice of Star Trek Online.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Neutral Zone. Sorry, I'm your host, DJ Grom, and I'm here to tell a story I was coming to tell my buddy Rockdoor. Hello, Rockdoor. Kapla, my friend. Kapla. Okay, I have to tell you about my exciting news. Last week, there it is. Kapla. Last week, something big happened for me, buddy. I was contacted, right? My communicator went off, and it was a female that I used to know on Jupiter Station back in the day, right? To be more exact, it was my buddy's, a guy I grew up with, my buddy's younger, attractive sister, right? And she called me up, and she was like, "Oh my God, I heard you're famous. I heard you're famous, DJ." And she wanted to get together, right? So then, that put a lot of pressure on me, right? Like, I had to come up with a good date, right? Like, I had to be all, oh my God. It was not bad, though, because I have a jar, right? I call it my dating jar, and inside it has stuff. I know what you're thinking. Schloogie, right? Well, what would Schloogie say if she knew you were going on dates, right? Well, I told Schloogie. I said to her, "Hey, Schloogie, a hot, attractive female wants to be with me on Saturday. What do you think of that?" And she looked at me and she said, "Ha! Yeah, right," and walked away, right? So I took that as total consent, right? No problem. So off I went, right? So I reached into the magic dating jar and I pulled out the first thing I could find, right? McDonald's 2-for-1 coupons. And I was like, score, because that means I don't have to pay, right? Because I got the free one. So I showed up, I picked her up in my Space Camaro. Oh, you should have saw it. Now, technically, it wasn't really a Space Camaro. It was actually a Space Honda with a holographic generator in the trunk, right? That was making it look like a Space Camaro, right? And I was hoping that she wasn't much of a car person and that she didn't realize that the interior of the Space Camaro looked an awful lot like an old Space Honda. I wasn't sure if I pulled that one off. Free one, not surprising. See? Mouse knows how smart I am and how thrifty, that's the word, thrifty. And I wanted her to know how thrifty I was too, right? So, I drove her to Space McDonald's, right? See, Cobalt's impressed. She's like, "Oh, McDonald's." So, I took her to Space McDonald's, and we used a 2-for-1 coupon. And then they said, "Would you like anything to drink?" And I said, "Yes, we would. We would like 2 hot waters." Because little did they know, I had brought my own tea bags, right, from home. Now she knows I'm ingenious, right? My ingenuity is just total turn on for a female, right? So we did that, and then I said, "All right, you ready for the next stage?" And I took her to the best place. I know I did not teabag her. I said I had tea bags. And then I went to Rockdoor's throwing me off, sorry. Next we hopped back in my Space Camaro, and I took her to, are you ready, my Gromulans? Walmart! Can you believe it? Oh, did you know they sell groceries in there now? I did not know that. That was a shocker to me, right? Where else can you get, like, old speakers and eggs at the same time, right? Am I right? It was phenomenal. We went and checked out the toilets. They have really cool toilets at the Walmart. We actually spent a lot of time checking out the toilets. It was pretty fun. And then I thought, okay, what should we do now? And she said, "How about you tell me about you?" So I got to sit there, and for like 3 hours in the Walmart, I did nothing but talk about myself, right? And she was very impressed. She was touching my arm because, for those of you on my Facebook, you might realize, remember, I have a very striking similarity to Jason Momoa, right? I have the same body type, so she was like all over that, right? And so then I said, okay, don't worry, sweetie. I have the epitome of perfection for this perfect night, right? And we left out of the Walmart and hopped back into my space Camaro. And then, are you ready for this? We drove for 2 hours, and when we finally got to our destination, we pulled in, and I turned on the lights, and we were at the space dump. And right there were space birds and space bears. And the space bears were big, for they were eating garbage. Oh, and the nostalgia when the smell of the garbage hit her. Oh, and when she saw the space bears, she thought of Jupiter Station. She thought of home, right? And she was like, oh my God, DJ Grom, this is so perfect. Do me! And then she took off her space top, right? And I was like, oh my God, because I didn't think she remembered. We Ferengi don't have penises, right? And I think she forgot, but so she was like, do me. And so I did what I could. I took those boobies and I put them in my hands and I stuck my face in there and I cried, my globulins. And I cried and I wailed just like a little baby. And then she smoked. It took like 40 minutes of me crying, right? And then she smoked 2 cigarettes and she patted me on the head and then she helped me blow my nose and then I drove her home and date, successful date, right? And I can't wait for our next one. Ow! What the hell was that for? Did you hear that? Schloogy's jealous. Because I never took her to the space dump, right? That's okay, Sloogy. Some other time. Perhaps. Alright, so what do you think, Raptor? What do you think? What do you think, Brenda? Are you jealous? Are you jealous that females are attracted to me? Oh, you should have saw it. We were at the space dump, and she was playing with my chest pubes, and she was saying, oh, I really like hairy men, right? So, good times. It was good times. Lady Gaga, she's impressed, right? She's like, wow, DJ Grom, I haven't been to the space dump in so long.